All right. Welcome, everybody, to this week's showing of the Ohio Valley Lawn Care Dirt Late Model Series here at Lanes Raceway. About to get underway, just setting up some music here. As you can see, the guys are out there biting at the bit. A full 8 split here tonight. Full speed, full high banks, full beating and banging out here at Lanes Raceway. Jay on red lane, Randy on white lane, Nathaniel Burden on green, Carson Ross on orange, Jackson Darty on blue, Amani Baxter on yellow, Glenn Burden on purple, Gabriel Kirtley on black lane. It's going to be a show. Here we go. All right, racers, watch your lights. Here we go. Starting our first round robin heat of 8. All gear ratios locked down to a T. No one has an advantage here. Everyone within the rules. We have teched every one of these cars. It's going to be a thing of beauty, folks, and I can't wait. And I hope you're as excited as I am because this show is about to go. Right out of the gate, Glenn Burden in the lead. Purple on purple lane here. Now, Glenn Burden has cooked his motor for a solid week, folks, and he is the guinea pig here to see if there is something about that. And so far, Glenn Burden's car nice and smooth, as we can see here. A good old nice coast to the end there. We are live right now on YouTube. You can jump in here on YouTube and chat with us if you're interested in this series. Of course, it's going live for several months here in the future. As we get another track call here, all cars are to go to the front, just like all of our other series. Monty Baxter there in second place, coming all the way out of Louisville, Kentucky. He's had this car for quite some time. He's excited about getting in this race for sure, and we'll see how well he works out in this series. He might actually want to get a part of this series. This is one of our payout series here at Lanes Raceway, as it got sponsored by Ohio Valley Lawn Care. For all your lawn care needs, definitely call Ohio Valley Lawn Care if you're in the tri-state area, as they do work all the way out from Evansville, and they're located here locally in McLean County. So definitely give them a shout if you're interested in getting your lawns done. Amani Baxter there with a nice, beautiful coast there on yellow lane. Still trying to finish up the bang that I've already started here. Looks like our chat went offline here. Let me get a little look here. All right, good to go now. 41 seconds left to go in this first round robin heat. Looks like Glenn Burden, for those that want to know, we're trying to figure out how to better make these motors run and operate more efficiently and have a little bit more speed. So I just basically took a stomp motor last week and put it on 1 volt starting out with. Moved it all the way up to 3 volts and finished that last night. So it's been about, I think, 5 days it's been in oil, ball bearing oil. And I've just been cooking it. And the results are showing. Glenn Burden's in the lead right now with 28 laps. It's not like tremendously faster by no means, but it looks to be a little smoother. We got some of this info from Guillermo Sire talking about how he breaks in motors and stuff like that. And it's interesting to see that this stuff is real. So there you go, folks. A little bit of technology, a little bit of understanding of breaking in motors and how well that it works out. All we did was add the step of putting breaking it in oil instead of like rubbing alcohol or water, which is a little more abrasive. So pretty cool. If you want to break in your motor, it's a viable option. It just takes forever. And I think it's working pretty good for Glenn, as he is currently our leader by a lap. For that matter, if you want us to break in the motor, I will charge you, just like I charged Glenn. and I'll run it for as long as you want, but I will charge you appropriately by how much time that I keep it on the power supply, because I'm using electricity. So anyways, we get a 4-car pile up there coming out of Dead Man's Corner there. We see Paul Woosley on the seat there, and Dana Durham getting those cars put back on efficiently. It's like one of them was our leader, Glenn Burden. Monty Baxter right there on his tail with 37 laps. 1 lap down from Glenn. It's right to his outside. We'll see how this goes here. Let's go to the big oval here. Going back green racing. While we're under this green, you can see how close these cars are. It really just boils down to sheer understanding of trigger control and smoothness coming out of Dead Man's Corner, whether or not you can get just a little on somebody else, plus what position you are on the lanes, if you're down low or not. We get our first red flag rotation. We see Glenn Burden out in the lead by 2 laps with 48 total laps there on purple. That's one of Glenn's favorite lanes to run. Gabriel Kirtley down there on black lane with 45 total laps. Like I said, we got a full pack here tonight. 8 full racers. As we see them all going to work on their cars. See them stickering up their cars and getting ready to move on to the next rotation here. We're going to leave you with that. You can watch these guys work. We'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. 4 red lights dropping out to green, and we're going back racing. Glenn Burden, your current leader, down on black now, really hammered it home heavy as we see him reel in the guys right above him. Guy on yellow lane and blue lane. That would be Gabriel Kirtley and Nathaniel Burden. Nathaniel Burden actually in Glenn Burden's running regime, I guess you would say. What would that be? Race team. And I was told at the very beginning when we were in our preliminary races, if Nathaniel Burden doesn't get first or second, he is fired, boy. He is fired. Now, I don't know if Glenn's going to hold that or not, but nonetheless, Nathaniel Burden has been somewhat of a front runner. I don't think he's been outside of the podium at all this season. Speaking of that, I guess we could take a quick gander at that and see. As we can go over here and take a quick look at the point standings for the Lawn Care Late Model Series. We see Guillermo Sire out in the lead, Randy Kirtley and Jay Latham in third. Of course, Nathaniel didn't race our first race. Glenn Burden down there in fifth place currently right now. Four red lights drop out to a green. We're going racing yet again. Everybody lock gear ratio 929 here in the GRC race. Only thing different is this is a 4-inch GRC where our normal GRCs are 4.5, and we are running dirt late model bodies here on the cars. Special thanks to Dana Durham and Paul Woosley for helping track marshal the track for the racers. As we see Jackson and Gabriel Kirtley getting slotted back in front of the start-finish line, being involved in an incident. 50 seconds left to go, and we get a rider on Randy Kirtley's lane. And it was Carson Ross. Carson Ross riding on that lane, getting put in front of the start-finish line on white. Got a little bit of a cluster up taking place there in Dead Man's Corner there. Several cars, a little bit of a neck and neck between green and white there for a second. That's Jay Latham and Carson. As we see a car come to the crook of the track there and hit pretty hard there. Glenn Burden and Jackson, arch rivals here. Jackson actually rivals with almost everybody I know, as he is very aggressive on the track. But we see Jackson there with 98 laps, right there with Glenn Burden with 104. Really, really close. As we get a lane rotation. That's the end of round robin 2 of 8. We can go in here and kind of take a peek and see what we're looking at. Jackson running 58 total laps on purple. That's 10 laps better than what Glenn ran on purple. And we can see him coming up here pretty quick. See Glenn there running 59 total laps there on black lane. Monty Baxter in third place, coming all the way from Louisville, Kentucky. We appreciate Monty for sure. Hadn't seen him in a couple of weeks since the last series at the banquet. Here he is back in the mix, and it's good to see him back, having fun with the guys. Nathaniel Burden there in fourth place with 98. 97 to Gabriel Kirtley, 93 to Jay. Randy Kirtley in 89 running his top two. And Carson there with 73 running his mid lanes. About a minute and 45 seconds. We'll be right back with you. All right, 10 seconds left to go. What a battle we have here, folks. Monty on the phone in racing. I mean, hey, if you're getting the third places, you know, sports betting's legal in Kentucky. You might be placing a bet on itself for the win. I know I would be. I'm just about to my limit currently with seeing advertisements for sports betting in Kentucky. I have seen so many of them in just the past month. I just literally want to launch my phone. If you feel that same way, let me know in chat. As we continue racing, Glenn Burden out in the lead by 4 laps to Jackson, as he is putting up very, very good racing here. As he goes to the high side here, down low, Jackson cranking it home on Black, getting every bit of the laps that he possibly can get. And then right below him on purple is Nathaniel, son to Glenn, as he makes a nice pass. Minute and 4 seconds left to go in the heat. Jay up above him, trying his best to make a move. And he does so. It's kind of strange. I don't know what's exactly happened the first couple of heats there. Glenn Burton's car really flying high. Now all of a sudden kind of losing a little bit of time here. Ten seconds left to go. Not a wreck to be had this heat. So we see Jackson tied with Glenn Burton. And we see Jackson take over the lead there with 2 seconds left to go. Jackson, also known as Gold Dust, was in here with me earlier. I'll tell you what, Bruce, there is a bunch of good cars here. This series right here, Bruce, we might have to run this one again. It is that good. I'm telling you, man, it is fun. I like just watching them race. As you can see here, Jackson just took over the lead right there, tied up with Glenn there with 162. Nathaniel and Amani 150, 157. Jay Latham 149, 147 to Gabriel Kirtley, 142 Randy Kirtley, and 119 to Carson. Now you know, you've been around this long enough, Bruce, you know that whenever the guys are running their high side, they don't really start coming alive till the other half portion of the race. I think that's what we're seeing here. Of course, in the next heat or so, probably by heat 5, we're going to get a better understanding of what's going on here. But we can already see somewhat of what's taking place here. Jackson did actually one more lap higher than Glenn down low there. Jackson's actually running pretty good here in this late model series this week. Currently right now in first place even. Jackson didn't fare too well there on blue lane, had a few early on wrecks and stuff like that. But we'll see some of these other racers that we see like Amani and them when they go back down low. So we see some of our racers over there working on their cars and stuff like that. We see Amani on the red lane ready to get to it. Minute 36 seconds left to go. But yeah, so Bruce, I don't know if this is the first time you started watching Ohio Valley Dirt or not, but what you just seen that last heat is a common occurrence. Nobody coming off, everybody running pretty neck and neck. Just a few people getting a little bit of an advantage through how fast their car and stuff like that goes because they got their car freed up. But for the most part, like, it's gridlocked. And then you get the occasional heat or so where a lot of people wreck. But in this case, I mean, that's the majority of the time that we've been seeing here in the series. And I think it's one of my favorite series. Like I said, I think we might have to run this thing again for sure. It's just a really good series. 48 seconds left to go, and we'll be right back with you. 10 seconds left to go. I was just telling my wife, I don't think I can drink any more of this Bang energy drink. Once it gets warm, it's just not good. And really, to be honest, even when it was cold, I didn't really care all that much for it. I'm not a sugar-free kind of guy. I like sugar in my drinks. Real sugar, not the fake stuff. We're going back green racing. Jackson, your current leader there on yellow lane as he goes to fight as hard as he can to stay in the lead. Nathaniel Burden in third place. Glenn Burden 1 lap down from Jackson there with 68 total laps. 157.58 now of Jay Latham, 158 of Amani, 156 of Gabriel, 152 of Randy, Carson 129. Folks, this is tight racing at its finest. Let's go to the big oval for the duration of the race as we get a green roll here. And hey, it's on the responsibility of the person that wrecks to hit that button. So if the track comes on green, you better be ready. You better hit the trigger, because in this kind of racing, when hardly anybody comes off, that could be the difference between you winning and losing. I've seen it. I've literally seen it. It wasn't but Thursday night actually seen it with Weston and Gabriel Kirtley. Weston sliding up underneath Dead Man's Corner and passing Gabriel with a nice coast. And if you think about it, if you were on the button quick enough, probably wouldn't have happened. So, minute and 34 seconds left to go in this heat, and we got some issues going on here with someone's car here. I don't know whose it is, but only seeing 7 cars on the track currently. Paul Woosley sending the car of Carson Ross to green lane. If Paul Woosley's touching it, it's in better shape for sure. So I know Carson brought his car in here earlier and was asking me what was up with it. I did a little bit of work on it to see, but his braids were too high for one, causing him to come out a lot. But most of it is probably just sheer pushing just a little bit too hard, other than other racers. If you get up on the high side in these lock gear ratio setups, it feels like you're getting passed just all the time. And it is happening. But the actual reality is that you just need to run each lane by yourself and not focus on everybody else if you want to win this race, because that can get in your head when they're high side like that. When they're high side like that, it feels like you're just getting tore up, but that's just not the case. Jackson now in the lead by 2 laps there on yellow lane, 3 laps now. Glenn Burden there in second, tied with Nathaniel Burden, 193. As Nathaniel Burden takes over from Glenn Burden, pushing him to third position. Jay Latham with 187, Amani Baxter 183, Randy Kirtley 180, Gabriel Kirtley 179, and Carson Ross 154. A little bit of a neck-and-neck battle between blue lanes and orange, Randy Kirtley and Glenn Burden. But focusing in here on our current leader, Jackson, we see him just tearing it up with his old pink mobile. As he drives her in there deep, rolling as hard as he can. Down low on Glenn Burden as he makes the nice clean pass as he's going on his way up to the high sides after this heat. Like I said, in Heat 5, we're going to get a little bit more of an understanding of what's taking place here. And I think we're going to start seeing some things change. Nathaniel Burden now taking the lead right there at the end, if you didn't see that, with 218 laps. Nathaniel able to turn one more lap on both purple and black than Jackson. But Jackson right there in the mix with him. Glenn Burden there with 214 kind of falling down. So he's getting some of it out of the way. And now, and he's going to be kind of the guy that we look to see that equalization, whether or not people from the high side come up, like Randy Kirtley here, completing his high side lanes here. We see him and Jay Latham really close together. It's an indication of how fast that they actually are. Monty Baxter here running a 54 on orange currently, the highest on orange. These are just some indications of seeing whenever they go down on the lower lanes whether or not they're going to be fast. Hitting back to the oval, we see the guys prepping their cars, getting ready. We see Carson over here with a little bit of oil, front first-person view here, almost in the high banks. Minute and 44 seconds. We'll be right back with you. All right, 10 seconds left to go, folks, and we're going to go back green racing. Bruce, I will let the guys know. Actually, I'll let them know right now. Bruce Bullington says, great racing, guys. I'm proud of you. I said great racing, but actually he said great driving. Nonetheless, I guess that's one and the same. I need to learn to read, don't I, Bruce? Anyways, 150 as we get 10 seconds underway here. Nathaniel Burden, your current leader, followed by Jackson with the same amount of laps, fighting back and forth. Glenn Burden in third place. All these guys in the upper 200 range. Jay Latham now down on Black Lane. Him and Randy Kirtley going to be able to chunk out quite a few laps here down low. 222 laps. We're going to start seeing Glenn Burden and Jackson being on the upper side. Probably fall off just a smidge here from Jay and Randy as long as they stay out of wrecks here. We see several cars here getting involved in the incident here right now as we go to the bigger portion screen here. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Into the bigger screen here of the high banks on the old Dirt Late Model Series. Speaking of the Dirt Late Model Series, it's sponsored by Ohio Valley Lawn Care here in the McLean County area. Owner is Garrett Burden. He's also in the series. Wasn't able to make it here tonight as he had a previous engagement to play drums for a church. And I would much rather him play drums for a church than be here and race. So, I'm proud of Garrett and everything that he's doing, and thankful for Garrett as he is definitely good to our racers here at Lanes Raceway. So go back green racing. We see almost of a stalemate here. Several cars just gridlocked with one another here. The purple car on the inside on orange makes the pass, and the green car of Amani kind of takes a little aggressive through the dead man's corner here. Gabriel Kirtley on red lane may completely be out of the race by now. I'm not for sure, but he's got 194 total laps, and he is not in the race. So I don't know. He might have had to take a call or something. I don't know. But he is not in the race, folks. Nor is his car even on the track. 55 seconds left to go. And we see Nathaniel Burden still out in the lead. So if he keeps this kind of progression up, he's definitely not getting fired, as Glenn Burden loves the winner with the house car. And that's what Nathaniel Burden's car is. It's the house car of Glenn Burden Racing Enterprises. As you can see, I turned the lights off on the oval. So we've had a few racers and stuff talk about how it kind of gives them headaches and stuff when it's flashing. We definitely don't want that. So during racing, we'll turn the lights off and let the guys focus in a little bit more. 16 seconds left to go, and Nathaniel is putting on a show, folks, here in that black car. And I'll tell you right now, ain't nothing happened to that car other than it being pulled out of the box here at Lanes Raceway. I know because I'm the one that cut the body for it. So if you're looking to get involved in racing like this and you think you could do just as good as Nathaniel Burden, definitely come on down. Let us get you in a car. You join in this series and you'll have a blast. As we can see from top to bottom, we're looking at less than 5 laps difference in change here, or 10 laps difference in change here for the average. Nathaniel Burden out in the lead with a 55.2 average, 276 on the lead, 6 laps ahead of Jackson, followed by Jackson with 270 and Jay Latham 267 to round up your top 3. Jay Latham coming up, really being a force to be reckoned with as he's been working diligently on his cars to get them freed up nice and true. And I think we're fixing to see a lot more from Jay as we progress through the series here. Glenn Burden also been a force to be reckoned with, especially in this series. Early on, even in the preliminaries, actually taking home a couple wins. Randy Kirtley, of course, King Kirtley, he's always somebody to be looking out after. And Amani Baxter here, at least for today, has definitely come showing that he is here for business, and he's about trying to step up his game and get involved with everybody else and try to take home a win. Minute and 41 seconds left to go here. I'm going to move you guys to the big oval when you can watch the guys work on their cars, and we'll be right back with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 4 lights raging, ready to go out. As we drop them out, we're heading back green racing. We can see a good amount of cars here as one of them gets involved in an incident. It looks like Carson down low there on purple, or maybe he couldn't make it back to his car in time. Man, look at all these cars as we see just a straight 4 or 5 wide pile through Dead Man's Corner and everybody making it through successfully. This is the kind of racing that I just love to see, folks. Minute and 41 seconds left to go in this. Nathaniel, your current leader, followed by Jackson and Jay rounding up there with 179 as he tries his best to reel him in there, gaining a lap on Jackson already in this heat with a minute and 27 seconds left to go. Glenn Burden dropping back a little bit on red lane, but we'll see him kind of switch it up a little bit when he comes back to go on green and then finish up on blue lane. So don't count him out just yet. Him and Randy Kirtley there, just a lap or so different from each other. Randy going to be on his way back up also. And Carson and Amani and Gabriel pretty much in no man's land currently as he's been out for just a hair there. Here we go. 1 minute and 16 seconds left to go. Get another wreck to take place here as they get put in front of the start finish line. I'll be right back, folks. All right, folks, and we're back. So right here on the track mate, we see Nathaniel Burden out in the lead with 332 laps, followed by Jay Latham with 322 and Jackson 320. As we can see, just pretty much linear all the way down here now. Randy Kirtley there in fourth with 320, Glenn Burden 310, 304 Amani, 273 Carson, and Gabriel Kirtley 259. All right, going to leave you guys here with the ovals. The guys work on their cars. We'll be right back with you. All right, 4 red lights are going to drop out into a green, and we're going back racing. And right now, Nathaniel Burden out in the lead, still with 335 total laps. Jay Latham 326. Jackson with 326, also now dropping to 4th place as Randy Kirtley takes over 3rd. Glenn Burden there with 319, Amani Baxter 315, Carson with 284. As you can kind of see here, just nothing but a corkscrew of these racers going to the left here. As all of them kind of match speed here, we can see that this is really tight racing as 3 cars get involved in this. And it's crook of the track, and you see them getting blasted to the middle. Bottom 3 black, purple, and yellow lanes getting started at the back of the track here as we go back green racing. Jay Latham now pulling up into 2nd position here. As we can see, Him and Nathaniel, about 9 laps separates the two. Jay Latham and Randy Curley currently tied here. Randy Curley down on the lower lane. Most likely we'll see him make the pass here within the next few seconds here to take over second position. Jackson right there biting at the bit there on red lane. Probably going to be able to make a somewhat of a move there when he gets put back on green lane. Glenn Burton currently on green, trying to find his way up the pack here. Also with Amani doing the same. Carson there with 309. Gabber Curley is out. So we get another cluster up of people yet again there on the high side. Nathaniel Burton still hanging on to that lead up top, running 50 total laps there on white so far. Down low below him, Glenn Burton on green lane. And that's a red flag rotation as we move on in to our 8th and final heat here. We can see Nathaniel Burton still in the lead and about a drop off of between about 25 to 30 laps from top to bottom. All right, 3 seconds, and we're going by green racing. See 4 red lights drop out to green, and here we go for this final heat of the Ohio Valley Dirt Late Model Series. Nathaniel Burden, your current leader with 386 total laps. He's out there in front of people by quite a bit. Jay Latham there with 380, 7 laps down from him. Randy Kirtley with 382. Jackson 377, kind of falling back a little bit, but we'll see if he can maybe make some of that up. Him and Amani both, as they're down lower now than these other guys. They should be able to grab a little bit of that action for sure. Glenn Burden also there with 371 on blue. One would argue the fastest lane out of the 8. We'll see if he can grab a little bit too. Carson 335, even lower. We'll see if he can maybe catch some of the guys just a hair. Amani and Nathaniel getting their cars put back on. Nathaniel now taking a little bit of a hit here. We'll see how long this works here for Nathaniel being up on the high side. Randy Kirtley there with 406, pushing real hard to try to take this win with 52 seconds left to go. Two seconds left to go. 4 cars starting back at the back side of the track here. One car spacing equally spacing between the two. Nathaniel Burden still in the lead here. 6 laps in lead. Third place here, Jay Latham currently as he's trying to make a move up. Him and Randy Kirtley totally gridlocked with one another at 409, 410. It's going to come down to the wire between these two to see who's going to end up finishing second versus third here. Jackson fighting valiantly there with 406 as Glenn Burden and Amani fight for 404 and 403. Just battles all around on this race here, this race weekend on October the 8th. All right, T, get the. All righty. Nathaniel, Randy, and Jay line up for your podium picture. All right, so Nathaniel, Randy, and Jay Latham going to get their podium picture. We can see that we got one finished on the same lane here. Randy and Jay. Coming up next will be the wing on the road course at 7 p.m. 1 hour away, and gives the racers a little bit of time to get something to eat and also work on their cars, get ready for that race. But other than Carson and Gabriel having some issues with their cars, all the way 418 all the way to 435, very, very close racing, as you guys can tell. But definitely stick around as we move into every one of the guys getting a picture right there at the podium as we move into the wing car coming up next. This is Donnie here at Lanes Raceway. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ohio Valley Dirt Late Model Series race here on the Oval. And definitely come back and check us out next week at the same time. God bless.